In the headlines, professional development training for teachers as the Ministry of Education promotes academic performance. Africa is Dominica's next target as government seeks to expand diplomatic relations. And further setbacks for renovation works on two of Dominica's major cultural sites. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Your old tablet? That's so 2020. Get a Samsung A7 tablet from Flow for only $99 when you sign up for a new All-In or All-In Plus bundle. Enjoy faster broadband speeds to surf and stream, more TV channels in HD to stay entertained, and unlimited Flow-to-Flow fixed minutes to stay in touch with everyone you love. So sign up today for a new bundle from Flow. Visit discoverflow.co for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, continued efforts to improve the academic performance of children got underway this week. Julian Morris has that story.
The Ministry of Education embarked on a 3-day professional development training for teachers around the island starting Wednesday. The aim of the workshop is to sharpen the skills of teachers so that students perform better in the classroom. According to Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Jeffrey Blaise, data has shown that more work needs to be done to improve the literacy, numeracy and comprehension across all levels. He is hopeful to see benefits from these workshops in the near future.
Earlier on I mentioned the data that we have in terms of deficiencies. If we have identified the challenges now based on national assessment and we engage in what we call an action plan to mitigate this challenge, we anticipate that in the short term we would have combated that challenge and we would have students who are more comfortable in terms of their performance. So I mentioned the issue of writing and comprehension strategies. We are hoping that in the national assessments in the coming, if not next year, but at least certainly by year after, we'll see an improvement in terms of student performance in that regard.
Apart from the academic performance of children, a section of the workshop focused on self-care of teachers. Facilitator for this segment of the workshop, Trudy Christian, who is also Director of Student Services at the Dominica State College, says it's important that teachers learn to deal with anxiety associated with the profession.
So we also went into stress management, and I feel like that was very helpful for the teachers, because managing stress is one of the key things that people need to learn to do in order to survive in their chosen professions. If they are able to do so, then they will deliver a better product or a better experience for the students. So whereas people might think that the well-being of the student is the only focus in education, that indeed is not true. The teachers are also a big part of the product, and their well-being needs to be focused on in order for the students' well-being to be positively impacted in the long run.
Head of the Foreign Language Department at the Dominica Grammar School, Shari Menz, says the self-care session will be beneficial to both teachers and students.
Today's workshop on stress, because we know too our students have that kind of stress. So it's nice to know, okay, these are the types of stress, so we need to learn how to deal with it so all students can deal with it as well. So if you recognize it, then success, everybody. Like today's workshop on the stress and management of stress would be good for our students, especially our fifth formers. You know that they're doing exams soon, and with all the SBA stress, because this is stress. So we learn that this is acute stress. All this SBA stress, you see the change in them. They're lethargic, they're grumpy. So in management, so this would be good.
The professional development training comes to an end on Friday.
In more top stories, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is looking seriously at expanding its diplomatic relations to include countries on the African continent. Dr. The Honorable Kenneth Daru, who took up the Foreign Affairs portfolio following the last general elections, says he is eager to establish diplomatic relations with African countries. The Roosevelt Skerritts-led administration's goal is to establish diplomatic relations with all countries recognized by the United Nations.
One of the areas that we feel that we need to do some work is the continent of Africa, given our historical link with Africa, and even at the sub-regional and regional level, we've been making moves to expand our reach here. Now, since coming into office, the Dominican Labour Party, we are up to 140 countries that we've established diplomatic relations with. And when we came to office, we only had 36 back in 2000. Yes, 46.
2000.
Yes, so we're talking about almost 100 countries that we have established diplomatic ties with, and over 130 visa-free that you could just walk into the country either without needing a visa.
Daru says the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been brought to the fore during the coronavirus pandemic, assisting with the logistics.
We have been at the helm engaging other foreign countries and foreign institutions in the technical aid received from the various governments, like the Republic of China, Republic of Cuba, India, to name a few.
In other developments, head of the United Nations Health Agency said this week the number of reported cases of COVID-19 globally has declined for the 5th consecutive week. He said this underscores that, open quote, simple public health measures work even in the presence of variants, close quote. Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, told journalists at a briefing in Geneva, open quote, last week saw the lowest number of reported weekly cases since October, close quote, noting a nearly 50% drop this year. He said how we respond to this trend is what matters now. He said, while acknowledging that there is more reason for hope of bringing the pandemic under control, the World Health Organization chief warned the fire is not out, but we have reduced its size. He said if we stop fighting it on any front, it will come back roaring. In other news, Chairman of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, joined the World Health Organization's global COVID-19 press conference on Thursday. Dr. Rowley addressed the forum, which focused on the issue of vaccine equity, particularly for small island states. Like Dominica, Dr. Rowley welcomed the return of the United States to the World Health Organization. He spoke of the logistical difficulties of vaccine distribution, fair and equitable access to vaccines, and the hoarding of vaccines by certain countries.
After a period of disbelief, it is with great satisfaction that we welcome the news of the intention of the United States of America to return to this place of science and world leadership in this vital and fundamental business of human care. Dr. Tedros, colleagues, fellow citizens of the many countries, I trust that it is clear to us all by now that large or small, rich or poor, powerful or feeble, none of us will be free from the devastation and propagation of this virus until all of us are free of its grasp and have overcome the direct and indirect destructive dominance of this microbe. 1 year ago, when the full nature of the pandemic was realized, we were very unsure of its reign. But among our fervent hopes, even then, was that our collective scientific know-how would lead us to a vaccine in the shortest possible time, and we prayed for its efficacy. Today, thankfully, We are at that place where we now have tested and proven vaccines. A brightening light is shining on our way towards a more successful response to the still marauding virus.
The CARICOM chairman says while there are logistical challenges of vaccine distribution, we do have models of sharing which will facilitate fair and equitable access as WHO goes on to certify more vaccines.
Today, on behalf of all small island states, of which the Caribbean's CARICOM group is probably the best example of those with fragile economies, small populations with limited technical and financial resources, as well as other vulnerabilities, who are being disproportionately ravaged and threatened by COVID-19 and all its variants. We are to remind that we need the systems of fairness, caring, and sharing to work according to a plan so that we can all come out of this dreadful experience guided by principles of equity and compassion. As there is the understandable rush to receive the vaccines and inoculation of our various populations, we are more than a little bit concerned that there is or is to be hoarding and price gouging, as well as undue preference in some quarters. This being so, we at CARICOM have recently called upon WHO to immediately convene an international convention of the world's people's representatives to commiserate, explain, assist, and commit to a fair sharing of the available vaccine resources for the benefit of all humankind and not just the privileged, well-heeled few.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better. Your old tablet? That's so 2020. Get a Samsung A7 tablet from Flow for only $99 when you sign up for a new All-In or All-In Plus bundle. Enjoy faster broadband speeds to surf and stream, more TV channels in HD to stay entertained, and unlimited flow-to-flow fixed minutes to stay in touch with everyone you love. So sign up today for a new bundle from Flow. Visit discoverflow.co for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Welcome back. Dominica has welcomed the move by the United States President Joe Biden to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. Former President Donald Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord and sought to defund the World Health Organization. Foreign Affairs Minister Kenneth Daru says Dominica's government is pleased with the decisions taken by President Biden so far on both issues. Foreign Affairs Minister Kenneth Daru says the United States' decision on these key issues hold great significance for small island developing states like Dominica.
Of course, Dominica, like all other countries around the world, we observed with a great concern what transpired prior to the inauguration. But we are happy that finally there had been rather a peaceful transition of power to the new administration. And we are very encouraged by the decisions, executive decisions taken by the President Biden. As it pertains to climate change, we all knew that President Trump would have withdrawn from the Paris Agreement. We know an agreement that the entire world spent decades going back and forth I remember myself as the Minister of Environment. My first tenure as a government minister was very much engaged with AOSIS, which is a subgrouping of the United Nations, a small island developing states, and we were very critical in putting the concerns of small island states like ours on the table. So when the U.S., who is a great partner, not just as a contributor, we think, to climate change, but also as one of the countries we think that can make a big difference, PM, in combating climate change. So we were very concerned when they withdrew. So President Biden now rejoining the climate change, the Paris Agreement, PM, is very comforting news for us. Also fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, we knew that President Trump withdrew also his support to the World Health Organization, PM, which is the international organization recognized the authority on health, global health issues. So rejoining the WHO is also of comfort to us.
Dr. Daru says the United States rejoining the World Health Organization means that there will now be more equitable distribution of anti-coronavirus vaccines. Renewed commitment to strengthening child protection in the country. This from the West Dominica Children's Federation as it acknowledges new challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Coordinator of the Federation, Beverly Barron, says in addition to providing protection for the youth, it will also focus on programs to help vulnerable communities.
We will continue to focus on the agriculture, on the climate change, on the youth and empowerment of women and girls. We will continue the work that we do in child protection. There's a number of areas that we still need reinforcement on. And we need, again, to do some training also in the COVID response because there's still people who are not following the protocols.
Barron says a boys' club is among the plans to create safe development spaces for children.
Children in particular, we will do the trainings with children in the communities because the schools now is very difficult to get into the schools because of the protocols. So we will do more in the community or in the after school period. So one of these that we will focus on is a boys club. We want to help the young boys in a number of these schools, in a number of the underprivileged or what we should say, urban poor areas to just have some place where they can come and learn certain things that can prepare them for manhood.
A further delay in the completion of renovation works at two of Dominica's major cultural sites. Here is Julian Morris with more.
The announcement of the renovation work at the Arawak House of Culture and the stage at the Old Mill Cultural Center was made almost 2 years ago, with actual work starting shortly thereafter. Over time, the deadline on these projects had been pushed back, first due to an expanded scope of works, which meant increased funds, and then as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence says to date just over 80% of works have been completed on the stage at the Old Mill.
There's still a phase 2 of the stage, which would be the washrooms and dressing rooms, which still have to be done. The stage itself needs a roof extension that has to be done as well. The roof extension would then cover the rest of the front of the stage against the elements, the rain and so, and other small fixtures and things like that to be completed. It has taken some time, so it's an ongoing work. It's a work in progress. Maybe not as quickly as maybe I would like to see it, but we have our, and I mean government has financial constraints. So then I think because of that, the project is sort of moving at a slow pace rather than at a fast pace.
As regards the Arawak House of Culture, though a lot of work has been completed on the building, a lot more remains to be done.
The wood cladding has been completed, the railings within the institution, the stage section has been completed. So those are the main areas that have been completed in the Arawak. But we still have, and then there's been work on the electricals as well at Old Mill. at the Arawak. But of course there's the stage lighting, and there's the sound, and then the other things like the curtain and cyclorama, and there's the painting of the building, and there's the whole front of the Arawak, the facade, and the entrance, and the plumbing, replacing toilets and making sure everything is well, and then the chairs and the carpeting and the ceiling also has to be done as well.
Dominicans are being encouraged to support the renovation projects, as these facilities are extremely important to culture in Dominica.
And I really hope that the work receives continued support, financial support, because Arawak is very important to culture in Dominica. It's like a central space where artists can perform, and in fact it's our only proper theater in Dominica. So it's very, very important to cultural development in Dominica. So I really would like all of us in Dominica to help to speed up the whole process.
And the foreign ministers of CARICOM and Canada will meet virtually on Friday. Discussions are expected to center on key issues of mutual interest, including the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, economic recovery, and climate resilience. Friday's meeting will be co-chaired by Canada's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Marc Garreau, the Minister for Foreign Trade and Immigration of Belize, and incoming chairman for the CARICOM Council for Foreign and Community Relations. With the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to take a heavy toll on citizens, economies, and livelihoods, the ministers are expected to examine areas for collaboration in response and recovery, as well as the issue of equitable access to vaccines. The ministers are expected to deliberate on rebuilding inclusive economies and promoting Canada-CARICOM trade. They are also expected to discuss action needed to fight climate change in keeping with the Paris Agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better. Your old tablet? That's so 2020. Get a Samsung A7 tablet from Flow for only $99 when you sign up for a new All-In or All-In Plus bundle. Enjoy faster broadband speeds to surf and stream, more TV channels in HD to stay entertained, and unlimited flow-to-flow fixed minutes to stay in touch with everyone you love. So sign up today for a new bundle from Flow. Visit discoverflow.co for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, the headlines again. Professional development training for teachers as the Ministry of Education promotes academic performance. Africa is Dominica's next target as government seeks to expand diplomatic relations. and further setbacks for renovation works on 2 of Dominica's major cultural sites. Feel free to access or pause the newscast on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.